I'm so fucking crazy because I'm playing the Joker.
Dutchman versus Suicide Squad.
Suicide Squad. So who am I to tell you about Suicide Squad? You've probably heard it all around the internet already. Critics are slamming it. Fans are calling for the death of critics yet again. And we both know, you and I, we're on the level, right? So we both know that critic-proof movies don't exist. Critics, people gonna like what they're gonna like. So fans of the DC Universe had hedged their money on this film. The critical reception of Batman v Superman was not as expected. There was a huge hope that that movie was going to be so big, everything was going to blow up, figuratively speaking, of course. So when that turned out to be, well, generally considered a very bad film, they were looking at the next one coming in the line, the Suicide Squad. Now, me personally, I'm not quite familiar with the Suicide Squad in the comics. Yes, I am a bit of a comic book mark and I do like the Batman universe, I suppose you could say the most out of all the franchises that DC Comics publishes, but I personally had never actually read any of those lines of books. The closest that I came in that area of comic books was when Gail Simone wrote for Villains United and she wrote the prelude to the Secret Six. And I know they have different names, Secret Six, Suicide Squad, they are in essence the same concept. Both are, technically speaking, villain teams, bad guys, anti-heroes, fighting bigger bads. So that was 2005. 2005, it's 2016 now, that's 11 years ago. So it's not really a comic book that has achieved legendary status. Villains United, Secret Six, Suicide Squad, they're just the C and D listers. So for them to get a movie, I personally was quite chuffed. So I had really high hopes for this film because I have no love for Man of Steel, and you're only just finding that out now. You haven't been paying any attention to the previous videos I've made. So I had that much of a dislike for that feature that the trailers for Batman v Superman turned me off completely. I just no. I saw this last weekend. The reputation preceded itself. First 20 minutes I felt the movie didn't need. We get an introduction for Deadshot, and then we get an introduction for Harley Quinn, and then we get an introduction of Amanda Waller, and then we get an introduction of Deadshot and an introduction of Harley Quinn, and everybody else in the film, well, except Katana and Slipknot, who just show up later on without explaining who they're supposed to be. The editing also felt to me very clunky. The flashbacks to Harley Quinn's past with the Joker, and especially, it's just, it didn't do it for me. Every 5 minutes there's a new song by the original soundtrack now. It goes from a place, a house called Rising Sun, it goes to another one by I can't even name all the songs, they're just that quickly after one another. And I know I have attention deficit hyperactive disorder. It is for me a big problem, but luckily I found out a lot of other people on the internet shared my irk about this. But well, that was the camera battery dying on me. If I look slightly more centered, off center, I have to fiddle around with the thing. Okay, so there's a huge info dump and it bogs down the movie. It spends too much time explaining things. So at one point we see a character called the Enchantress, and she managed to get away from Amanda Waller for a bit. And then later on in the film we get a flashback how she got away from Amanda Waller, which is quite literally the scene we had seen earlier in the film. Right, okay. But I kind of like the film. No, it won't win any Oscars. It's never gonna go down in history as one of the best comic book adaptations ever. It misuses some characters. It has too many characters as well. A lot of them woefully underused. It has a very poor, undeserved third act and climax, and you feel like somebody who did the editing didn't know what the film was supposed to be like, so it wound up completely mangled and stuff is missing and it doesn't feel whole, it doesn't feel good. But you have some great actors in here, some people obviously having fun with what they're doing. Granted, it's not the most intricate plot ever, there's like 3 of them going on at the same time even, and none of them really amount to anything aside from the first one. Weirdest thing, with most villains you get to see their final plan in the third act, so there's a huge build up. What's going on? Why is Ultron amassing all these robots here? Here, it's kind of in the first 15 minutes that the bad guy goes like, oh yeah, this is my plan, and now I'm gonna pause for tea. That is some quality tea. That's when the movie gets overtaken by a second plot, which is a decent action movie in itself. The Suicide Squad gets sent into Midway City, fictional city in the United States in the DC Comics world, to retrieve the life of a single person. We don't know the identity. It's fun. It's a little bit Resident Evil-like the movies, not the video games. And yeah, it kind of works. But then we get a slight B-plot in between with Jared Leto's Joker, and which is then promptly again forgotten. And then we go back to the main bad guy who got the limelight stolen from it at the start, and we quickly resolve this in something that hits all the notes of a standard action movie, like, oh, we are now banding together like brothers, we're doing the right thing, we're gonna show these guys what's what. But it's like the movie hasn't worked towards earning it, so it all feels very hollow, it feels very cheap. And a reason for that is the characters. Like I said, there's far too many of them. The only ones that really get any proper development are Deadshot and Harley Quinn. The rest of them just kind of do their thing. Granted, it's a big ensemble movie, and Will Smith is the biggest name. Harley Quinn is the biggest comic book character that people kind of wanted to see on film all these years. So yeah, but there's so many of them that don't get to do what they could do. Courtney plays Captain Boomerang, and he's brilliantly just so a common criminal and a thug and a lout, and robs things and punches the first person he sees when he gets out somewhere, drinks constantly, like every 5 minutes you'd see him popping open a can of lager, and he's a wisecracking, and I think he throws 3 boomerangs. No, that's Captain Boomerang throwing 3 boomerangs in the entire film. In the beginning when you first see him, one that he uses as a drone and one that has an explosive towards the end. Why would you include a character called Captain Boomerang and he throws boomerang 3 times and then just really use them as kind of knives for the rest of the fucking movie? It doesn't make any sense. El Diablo, the guy who shoots flames, the Latino gangster, after Deadshot and Harley Quinn, he seems to be the most developed character out of the lot. He kind of needed to be, because towards the climax, he's the only one with power, so he's the only one that actually managed to do something. So they show him as a pacifist in a way, because he's atoning for his past crimes. And that was good. I like that. They should have done a little bit more with him, but you know, not that bad. Killer Croc, the actor, Adewale chap from Lost, Mr. Echo, he just doesn't get to shine at all. He gets a couple of one-liners, he laughs a little bit, and that's it. He's not even that big, he's not even that intimidating aside from the face. The face looks great, but his build, he's a slight man, it seems. So you got Killer Croc, who's supposed to be like this 7-foot tall crocodile monster, but he wasn't really that scary. Okay, so he was a waste. Katana, I don't know Katana very well, but you know, they show her do some Miho from Sin City shit, cutting up gangsters. She contributes to the final fight a little bit, and she cries to her sword because, like in the comics, her sword captures the souls of the people she kills, and somebody used that sword to kill her husband. This is a good backstory. Why don't we get her to do stuff? But no, we don't need that. No, we don't have time for that. Rick Flagg, I personally don't know Rick Flagg very well, again from the comics, but he's very flat. He's only there because he's the guy who has to keep them all in check, and his girlfriend is in peril. So he's sad. It's just, I had no emotional investment in him. You get a couple of people supporting as soldiers, but you don't care. And then we get Slipknot. Slipknot, okay, fair enough. Slipknot exists to show the stakes were real. Slipknot only shows up in the movie to get his head blown up, so people are like, oh, right, so the chips in their necks that are bombs are real. I've kind of hitting the point now. I'm going to discuss spoilers. If you want my verdict now, I think the movie's okay. It's certainly not as bad to me as some people make it out to be. I'm glad I went to see it because I hope this gives the bigger studios some initiative to develop smaller projects, or at least lesser known projects, as opposed to Batman number 5, Batman number 6, or blimey, yeah, here's another Superman film, I suppose, after 20 years. Because, well, I kind of grow tired of those. I want to see a little bit more. Right, so, now, let's go spoilers. This is seriously the last time I'm going to warn you. So the main bad guy is not Jared Leto. So the main bad guy is not Jared Leto. It's not Jared Leto at all. The trailers gave me the impression that he was gonna be pitching some kind of a meta-human against the government in some way or another. But it turns out that the B-plot I was talking about, that kind of takes over a little bit but then goes nowhere. That's Jared Leto's Joker. He finds out Harley was put into a prison that you can't find where it is. He finds her anyway, finds out she's part of the Suicide Squad, goes to try and rescue her, and that's it. He doesn't really antagonize the Suicide Squad at all, more than he just wants to rescue his little girlfriend. You could have just scrapped him from the film. You could have cut him out and saved like 15 minutes of screen time. The Joker was so bland, so forgettable. I was not impressed by Jared Leto's performance at all. I'm so torn between calling him Jared Leto and Jared Leto. Jared Leto. He's just a very stereotypical gangster man. He has flashy suits, white skin, green hair, and he tortures a person. Spoilers, it's Harley Quinn. He's not scary to me. He's not psychotic. He's not funny. He's not threatening. People don't even say he's crazy. He's just kind of, you know, the guy who kills people, and that's why people are scared of him, because he's got a bunch of other people that kill people for him too. So it's just a random gangster guy whose girlfriend is Harley Quinn. Yeah. The main bad guy is Enchantress. Enchantress, I feel, is only the bad guy because she was on the team a couple of times in the comics. So the people watching the movie who knew the comics, which can't be that many, I think, were kind of caught off guard. She resurrects her brother, who turns into a 12-foot tall burning demon, kind of looking like the Destroyer armor from the Thor movie, and they're gonna destroy all humanity by building a machine to destroy all humanity in the first 15 minutes of the film. Like I said, that's when they go pause for tea, and the actual plot is to rescue Amanda Waller. And like I said, that's a decent action movie in itself. They go into a government building, find a secret safe room, and it's Amanda Waller, and she kills everybody in the safe room because they were not clarified to know her level of information, and she gets kidnapped by the gooey alien monsters. By the way, helicopters are ridiculously easy to survive in this film. Like, you get shot at with a super soaker, it's that bad. It's like, that plot was so, why would they send in, like, these guys, they know only one of them has real superpowers, after two demon sorcerers, witches, witchy wits. It's literally the first thing they say is like, oh, we have a meta-human crisis, send in the Suicide Squad. But why? Because they gave the inclination that they weren't very fond of the Suicide Squad idea at first. It gives them no reason at all. So you have a bunch of humans. Remember when I said the movie hits all the pings of standard action films, but it doesn't really earn them? Killer Croc plants a bomb, and he gets attacked by all these gooey monsters underwater, and he tells a Navy SEAL to go with the bomb, like he's suddenly redeeming himself in a way, maybe? I don't know. Harley Quinn escaped with the Joker, except, yeah, the helicopter got shot down. Helicopters are ridiculously easy to survive. But in the meantime, her chip was gone. So what does she do? She joins up with the Suicide Squad. Instead of walking out of the city, she could have done that. She could have taken any car, driven off. I don't know why. At one point, all the characters are in the bar, and Rick Flagg tells them, you can go, I won't try and keep you. He's only got a couple of soldiers left, but he's going to try and rescue the world. And Captain Boomerang, the first thing he does is walk off. Jay Courtney, he's brilliant as Captain Boomerang. You know, just that kind of charm. He really did make me laugh. Earlier, Will Smith gave a speech about how they were the fall men, that if things went south, they were to blame. Yeah. So Rick Flagg turns out to have these letters of Will Smith's daughter, who send him a letter every day, and all of a sudden he's like, I'm gonna bring you to that witch, and even if I have to carry you all the way. And it's like, where's this come from? They were insulting each other the entire time, neither liked the other one, and all of a sudden Will Smith is filled with heroic courage, proof to his daughter that his father is not a dipshit. Fine, I guess. So we're at the final scene, they're all fighting a 12-foot tall demon, and he was casually tearing up metro cars, and all of a sudden Diablo turns out to be an actual devil, like a Mayan god of fire, which is why he had the tattoos. Weren't actually tattoos, they were face paint, like those grand, Mayan head masks. Okay, so the only guy with superpowers turns out to be the only one with superpowers enough to stop the demon, and then they just blow him up with a bomb? Seriously, this could have all been prevented if they had a joint airstrike fighter bomb the living fuck out of that building. So why send in the Suicide Squad? And then they get all their favourite dreams shown to them, and Diablo smacks them out of it, and he's like, I'm not going to let them take another family. That was basically the worst Latino gangster impersonation ever, especially seeing as it seemed to trail off into an Irish impersonation. I know all the accents, I just make them all one, that's the thing. This is the bit where they supposedly are fire-forged brothers, and they have a new family, and Harley Quinn can't betray them, and Why? Because they've only known each other for a couple of hours. They haven't really shown them bond over anything, aside from that one scene in the bar. It just feels hollow and unnecessary, and there's a scene where Killer Croc throws a bomb in slow motion, because we all know about his strong arm to throw things with. No, we don't. Why did they throw the bomb to Killer Croc? Deadshot is about to shoot the bomb to disarm the machine, I think, because they know that would work, right? So he sees a vision of his daughter, and it's, again, I didn't even like the actress playing the daughter, and she's so like, don't pull the trigger, Daddy. It doesn't work. It just doesn't work, and I'm smiling because all I remember, and I'm smiling because, you know, I still quite like the film, but this was so shit. Christ. Then the Enchantress gets killed by Rick Flagg. I'm like, cool. Closure. Roll credits. Nope. June Moon, you know, the human counterpart to the Enchantress, turns out to be alive inside of the Enchantress. By the way, did I mention Rick Flagg's girlfriend? The Enchantress June Moon. So Rick Flagg gets a happy ending, and Will Smith gets a happy ending, and I don't even know anymore. It's just such a hot mess. And yeah, I still kind of like the film. It's okay. Will Smith as Deadshot is not the Deadshot I know, and like I said, I did read a little bit of Deadshot, but he's Will Smith, and most Will Smith's characters are Will Smith, so it's just, you know, Will Smith with a beard. A little bit worried about Harley Quinn, because they seem to make it very one-dimensional about her relationship with the Joker, but that's the problem with Harley Quinn. She's 99% defined by her relationship with the Joker. And in order to show her later on to be able to move past, they would first have to show her being completely complacent in a relationship with the Joker. So he can't be the abusive, evil, shit-hat psychopath we know towards her in the beginning, unless we have made a base for them being somewhat happy together as Clown Prince and Clown Princess of crime. When she thought the Joker died, they at least showed her sad, so I did like that. She wasn't just completely flat, like she wasn't just a ditzy, super happy blonde all the time. But, you know, I hope that if she comes back in future installments of films, they play with it a little bit more and don't just reduce her to just the Joker's girlfriend. Jared Leto, seriously, he's just the blandest Joker ever. I don't even want to call him bad. It's just, you know, I can't think of anything iconic. Many of scenes seemed like he was edited in post, like, I'm in this movie too!
Quite literally, as I was editing the end bits, somebody sent me this article of HeroicHollywood.com where they described the nature of the scenes where Jared Leto got cut out, and it would make it so much better. It would give the reason why Harley was sad and joins up with the Suicide Squad again so much more grounded in logic. And Jared Leto just vanishing from the film and not doing fuck all, that would have been cured, so he wouldn't have felt as superfluous. But yeah, okay, so the point what I said, having to have a relationship where she is complacent, I still think that's a fair point, just that they would have done more with it in this film. I would have liked that. I certainly would have liked, but fuck me, this is a stupid thing to cut out. But then again, it makes the end scene with Harley Quinn even worse.
Oh, Ben Affleck was in this film. He was alright, I suppose. So yeah, Suicide Squad. I can't make anything else of it. If you think that my opinion of it being is horrendous, offensive to you as a fan, insult me in the comments. Don't click subscribe. You only see some kind of a feedback in your email or your YouTube app that I've uploaded more videos. If you like social media, you're an absolute fucking weirdo. I've got a Facebook page and a Tumblr page and a Twitter account you can follow me on. But don't do that. Just don't do that. And maybe if I hate you enough, all of you, as much as you hate me, I'll upload another video next week to finally tackle that thing I mentioned last time about women on wires performing kung fu. Yeah.
Shutdown initiated.